What's going on, guys? Welcome to another one of Black Iron's battles. Today we've got a Total War Warhammer 2 Mortal Empires 1 versus 1 quick battle for you. I'm going to go ahead and use the Skaven hordes, and I'm going to face off against a Chaos army. I want to show you guys this one. It was a little bit fun. It was something a little bit different, and I did not bring the right tools, I don't think, to deal with it. So I was able to kind of scratch out to victory with the Skaven, kind of scratch it out. And then so I wanted to give you guys a chance to see this one. So for my army, the Skaven, you'll see right up here in front, I do have 3 groups of Skaven slave spears. And this is really going to work out to my advantage. I feel the Skaven slave spears with their anti-large bonus, I think they're really the only frontline spears that you really need to choose. And then besides those, for other slaves, I've got some Skaven slave slingers here in the back. I really like to kind of have them on the edges. They can do some damage, and if they're focus fired, they're really not too expensive. They're only about 200, so you know, they can kind of soak fire and you give you some time if some cavalry come around. Besides that, you see we've got these gutter runner slingers, and they have poison. So these guys that are in here, they're actually a little bit more expensive. You see they do have stock, they've got dodge. These guys got poison on their melee attack, poison on their missiles, so they're actually, you know, not too bad, these gutter runners. Over here on the right, we've also got one group of night runners, and their range is a lot shorter at only 70, but they've got a little bit better, I think, attack and defense with 24 and 22. Actually, these guys actually have 26 and 28, so those night runners I think are just better because they have stock. Besides that, we do have some of the standard plague monks, that real, you know, just elite frontline, not elite, I guess, I'm sorry. So the like fanatical frontline, you know, they've got that high melee attack. They do pretty well, but just no armor, so they go down real quick. Over here on the right and the left, we do have 2 groups of storm vermin with short sword and shield. You know, they're in there. Those are the elite infantry. They've got 44 melee defense there, you see 36 melee attack, and those guys are you know, 120 units, so they're looking for trouble. For our lord, we have brought Queek. We've also brought a Warlock Engineer, and we've brought, with Queek, we've brought our debuff, so we've brought our Warp Shard armor, and we've also brought our brought the ability on the Warlock Engineer that strips health from those around him. That kind of makes him, it's actually this Warpstone armor. So if you look at that, that actually does damage. So it pulls hit points in an area. You can see it around there on that that circle there, and we've also got Warp Lightning, so we can drop some pretty good damage. So we've got. On the right here, we do have an assassin. We didn't bring trophy hits on him because we brought it on Queek, so we kind of just stripped him down, and he's just here to kind of be support and help take out heroes. We also do have right here in the middle this group. You can see there the warp cannon. Oh, it is so awesome looking. I just love the way they represented these Skaven units in here. So that's overall. We'll take a big overall look at my army here, and you can see here that we do have 1,400 units to his 230. So he has a pretty imbalanced army, and we'll go ahead and show you why. Up here in the air, you can see right off the bat, he does have a Chaos Feral Manicore. So those are always really cool to look at. Let's take a look at that with his horns and everything, and he is right there. He's ready to do some damage. Besides that, you see he has being led by Kholek Suneater. He is big, he is huge. He does have that Starfire ability. He's brought his stand your ground ability. I'm not sure if that's exactly what it's called when Kholek uses it, and it looks like he has brought the Star Crusher. He's got that huge buff where you can do splash damage and armor piercing. He does have standard die, and he has Lord of the Storm. So he causes terror, he causes fear. He's just big and buff. Besides that, he does have 5 groups of Marauder Horsemasters. So he's got these 4 groups, actually, I think, of Horsemasters, and 1 group of Throwing Axes. So the Throwing Axes have that armor piercing, where the other ones do not. Over here on the left, you'll see he does have a Dragon Ogre Shagus. So those big boys with his goat horns. He's got his, you know, double-bladed battle axe there. I mean, those guys are buff, and they're ready to do some damage. Over here, you'll see another Dragon Ogre Shagus. So that makes 2 plus Kholek, Big Daddy, makes 3 Dragon Ogre Shagus. So that is just a nasty, nasty armor, and I did not bring any Storm Vermin with halberds. Besides that, you can see those Chaos Dwarves there in the back manning this Hell Cannon. So he does have the Hell Cannon, and he, you know, that's pretty much it. So he's got a lot of mobile cavalry here for his ground units. He's got those big boys, and that's pretty much all. So this is going to be a crazy battle. Let's go ahead and get it started. All right, you guys. So right off the bat, you'll see that we're gonna get this warp lightning cannon, and we're gonna get it shooting, and he's gonna be doing the same with his hell cannon. But the important thing for me is that I'm gonna be taking some shots. I know those big boys will probably be able to dodge, so I'm just gonna try to take some shots with my warp cannon at these bulk of horsemasters here, because I really hate when those skirmishers go ahead and mess with you and use their mobility to your disadvantage. So right here in the front, you'll see just exactly like I wanted. My Skaven slave spears are taking some of these hits. They're taking big shots from the hell cannon over there, but actually, if you see there, they haven't had too many direct hits from the hell cannon. And we're also taking some of those javelins from the throwing axes. We're gonna go ahead and move up. All right, so in the back here, you can see those Skaven slave slingers have gotten a Chaos Pharaoh Mana Core smashed into them, and we do have the Dragon Ogre, Shagas, and Kholek just kind of smashing into the middle here. So we're going to go ahead and get our Night Runners, we're going to get our Plague Monks here on top, and we're going to spread out our Slingers and our Missile Infantry to try to, kind of get in there and just do some crossfire. So here in the back, you'll see he is wasting a lot of time on that expensive unit on these, just these slaves. And over here on the left, you'll see he's doing the same thing. So we do have those slaves there. This Dragon Ogre Shagas is going to be wasting a lot of time. While here in the middle, you'll see, we are actually, Queek is going down. I've got Verminous Valor, I've got Standard Die or Stand Your Ground. But we are taking heavy damage. Queek is, Kholek is in there. Kholek has buffed himself up, and we have had to put trophy heads, but Star Crusher is kind of countering it. So look at, there's another hit from Kholek, and Queek is actually routed right off the field. So at that point, I know I'm in for some trouble. Even though we're still shooting here, we have managed to collapse on top of this Chaos Pharaoh Mana Core, so we have got the Night Runners in here. We're going to bring some Storm Vermin in. And you'll see throughout kind of the rest of the game that we do have our Skaven slave slingers, which have routed and came back, and they're just going to be tossing a few missiles in here at those giant monstrous units, which they're always going to be able to reach. Oh man, there, Queek just got crushed. Look, there's Queek's crumpled body right there with Kholek above it. And look at that. He is just sending units flying. That hell cannon is coming in. And at this point, I'm a little bit worried. But you can see my warp lightning coming in here in the back. You see that I'm trying to get these Skaven slave spears over here to this hell cannon. But, we have managed to kind of get his units all caught up and tar pit them. Oh, wow, look at that hell cannon shot. But you see here, this Chaos Pharaoh Mana Core has gone out of control. So these Night Runners and this group of Storm Vermin are starting to take it down with a little bit of help of some Skaven Slave Slingers. We've also had these Plague Monks and these Gutter Runners with poison here in the middle, and they've actually done some good damage on this Shagat. And Kholek, did actually, even though he took out Queek, he took about half health on his damage as well. So, we've got some, oh man, look at that. There's another one, and it did not do a lot of damage. So, that Warp Blinding is not doing as much as I would hope. But we have managed to get our ranged units out, and our slingers are just starting to shoot in here. And those Plague Monks, they're chopping through. They're not playing around. They're managing to get through. The Assassin's already down to half health, but we are going to drain health. He is the Dragon Ogre Shagath over here is broken. This one is down to 3,200 health. And if we look up here, it is a little bit more in my favor. So he's still got 170 units remaining. He's still got a good number of these Marauder Horsemen back here. But his main big units, his Shagas and his Kholek, are actually taking heavy hits. You see here, he has activated Standard Die. And we're just going to be keeping just kind of tar pitting, surrounding, and doing whatever we can do. Oh, there's a big hit on that Warlock Engineer, but our Warlock Engineer is standing strong. Oh man, our assassin routes off there, but and you can see over here on the right that this Dragon Ogre Shagath is trying to come right here into this group of Skaven Slave Slingers. But again, those only cost 200. So if he can spend his time taking his Shagaths out there and give me a little bit of time, I was able to route this Chaos Pharaoh Mana Core off in the back, and we are going to man this Warp Lightning Cannon again. So once we get this Warp, oh man, Lord of the Storm, look at that. Smashing down in the middle of that big group of Skaven, but we are going to start shooting with these Warp Lightning Cannons again. We have managed to break off one of these Shagaths, and this other one here is actually going to get tied down. He's got this Storm Vermin and these Night Runners here, and we've shown already on the Mana Core that these guys is a pretty good combination. These guys will do some good damage. Over here on the left, you'll see my Assassin is kind of facing off here against Kholek, but he has the Skaven Swarms. Let's take a look at that. Oh man, they're in there chasing after him. There's crossfire going on. We've got the warp lightning cannon, I think, taking a few shots, but Kholek is actually broken. So we're still alive. We've still got some slingers over here, which, you know, our assassin, 293 health remaining. But here in the back, you see the warlock engineer is still doing pretty well. He's slowly taking health off this Dragon Ogre Shaggoth, and even though they were able to knock the Warp Lightning Cannon offline again, there is not a lot of health left on a lot of these major units. Over here on the right, these slingers have again attracted that Chaos Pharaoh Mana Core, and luckily for us, he cannot control that. So these slingers and these units over here have just been such a great distraction. I mean, it is really helpful. Look at that range fire coming here, and that Dragon Ogre Shaggoth is not going to be alive for too much longer. I mean, if these range units can get some battles in, let's go ahead and take a look over here. You see just these Skaven hordes coming in here, and they have Kholek is just surrounded, but you know, he's still battling it out. He's going to keep fighting. Oh, look at that! They're sending units flying. We've got Kholek here. We've got all of these units here. All of these Marauder Horsemen with throwing axes here. But Kholek, even though he's got Star Crusher, he's doing AoE damage. I mean, Plague Monks are routing off. Skaven Slave Spears. Look at that. Oh, we did get a Scorch right down the line. Didn't do as much as we had hoped, but, you know, Kholek has just slowly taken 760s down too. And these Plague Monks, I mean, even though they're not the strongest Storm Vermin Plague Monks, they will get in there and they'll do some damage. I mean, we've got 650 health. Look, he's up to 150 kills, though, and off-route all of my Plague Monks. So at this point, even though the balanced power is pretty much my favor, and we have actually finally shadowed the Chaos Pharaoh Mana Core, I'm getting a little bit worried. But actually, you see there, Kholek 600 health. He has routed off. We do route off these Marauder Horsemasters, which, if you look, we had been targeting them with the ranged units, and they were actually down. I mean, we had used a ton of magic spells. I'd been using the Warlock Engineer to target them. I'd been using Scorch and all the different spells. And at this point, I'm looking all around. I'm like, okay, shattered. I'm trying to see what I've got. So I've got some slingers left. We've got a little bit of ammo left, and I'm like, wait, what is going on? So let's go ahead and fast forward. You'll see here, it is the last stand of these Chaos Dwarves. These guys are, I'm going to be firing in here. Alright, let's take a look. You can see the Warp Lightning Cannon firing in. You can see all of those slingers shooting in here. Those Chaos Dwarves, they're going to fight it to the end. You know, they're unbreakable, so there's it in here. Let's go ahead and take a look. I mean, that last one there, he fought it to the last second, and it was just a great. So you see, it was kind of like a different army. I really didn't think that I had brought enough to take care of it, but actually we were able to do pretty well. Just sheer overwhelming force. So Queek was taken right off the battle field, right off the bat, 0 kills. Kholek was able to just kind of chop him down. But we were able to get some good kills with our Warlock Engineer, and we were able to take a lot of health off. So he was able to take a lot of health off of those Marauder Horsemasters and the horsemen with the throwing axes, and he was also actually able to get a lot of good hits on the Dragon Ogres and take some health off of them with that AoE life drain. The assassin was able to get in there and do some hits on those big guys too. I wish I had brought in just, I'm not even sure. I just wish maybe that I had added a few more of his abilities there. Maybe we could have done a little bit more damage with him. But he was, we were able to get in there, and with all that single target large fighting, he actually did pretty well. So those Skaven Slave Spears, you saw they were able to soak up a lot of the damage. I actually did manage to get one group in that I maybe wasn't able to show, but it got in and fought that Hell Cannon for quite a while. So I was able to kind of tie it up with a group of Skaven Slaves, and between them and these Skaven Slave Slingers, they were just all worth their value time and time again. You saw the Mana Core having to attack those Slingers. You saw these Shaggoths attacking them, and just the sheer weight of numbers was really hard for him to deal with this elite army he had. You saw our Warp Lightning Cannon actually leveled up. 57 kills. It was just blasting in. It was hitting Horsemasters. It was hitting Kholek. It was hitting just everything it could possibly shoot at. Even hit that Hell Cannon a couple of times. Our Gutter Runner, they were applying that poison across the board, so that was really helpful. These units would have been able to do a lot better had they not been poisoned for a majority of the match. Night Runners did okay, and the Storm Vermin, they were actually our big help. They were able to take down the big units. So those Storm Vermin, they were our major damage dealers. They were able to get in there, take out those Shaggoths, take out that Mana Core, and them combined with those Plague Monks, even though it looks like they didn't do a lot, they were the ones taking out those elite units. So overall, he only took 111 losses, but it was the health on these big boys that really mattered. If you look, Kholek 151 kills, 96 on this Shaggoth, 80 on this Shaggoth. I mean, those are big amounts of kills, but I brought 1,500 units, so they needed a lot more than that. 200 per unit or so is what they would have needed. So we got 150 with Kholek, but we didn't get the 200 they needed with each of the other units. Those Horsemasters, I think, could have been charging in a little bit better. I think the Hell Cannon, it did its job, 90 kills, but like I said, I was able to get a group of spears in there. I may not have shown, but it was finally able to get in there and tie them up for a long time. That Manicore, once it went out of control, he really wasn't able to keep it in the right spot, and so that's always a trouble with them. But either way, I just wanted to show you guys. It was a fun match for me. I had a good time. I hope you guys all enjoyed watching it. If this is your first time, please subscribe below for more great online content. This is Black Iron, and this has been another one of Black Iron's Battles.